June is over, which means Arsenal can be flexible and do deals. It's a new financial year, and the Gunners are no longer under any restrictions for spending any money. So today really is the second day of the transfer window, as the new financial year was yesterday. So I'm just going to be talking about Arsenal's transfer business and their plan, because it looks very, very interesting when it's all structured out. I'm going to be going by academy, defenders for first team, midfielders for first team, and forwards for first team. I'm just going to give you an overview of everything you need to know so far in the transfer department for those respective positions. But before I begin, if you are new here, please smash a like, smash the subscribe button, and turn on those notifications. It really does help me out and the channel out. So without further ado, let us begin. And where I'm going to be starting is the academy. There's been a lot of movement in the academy. We've seen a lot of our big stars leave. Amari Benjamin has gone to Everton. We've seen Okonkwo leave to go to Wrexham, one of our highly rated goalkeepers. And it looks like Chidi Obi Martin may be on his way out, which would be such a huge loss. But it seems like Arsenal are just completely revamping their academy. There's a couple of signings which have gone a bit under the radar over the last few weeks. First one is Nygaard, which was a goalkeeper we signed for the academy. Seems to be fighting for that under 21 goalkeeper spot. A really good goalkeeper with a lot of potential, and I feel like it will be a decent signing, really good with his feet, pretty much a modern goalkeeper. Decent signing for us to get for the academy as we look to build it. Another signing which may have gone under the radar is Kedach O'Neill, which Arsenal have signed from Ireland. It seems as though Arsenal are looking in Ireland quite a lot, and we've seen a lot of prospects from there that we would like to come to our academy. So Kedach O'Neill is one signing, and he will be joining up the under 18s soon. And another one which you may have to keep your eye out for is Mason Melia, a striker who Arsenal are really interested in. A lot of potential, a lot of skill, and lots of people liken him to a Luis Suarez, well, a young Luis Suarez with the potential he has. So watch out for that one. I do expect Arsenal will be pushing to see if they can get that done. Now let's move on from the academy, where a lot of business is seeming, being done at the minute, and let's move on to the first team. And the first position I'm going to talk about with Arsenal's transfer plan is a goalkeeper. I did forget to mention the sort of players we're looking for in every department, so I'm just going to put like a little list here on the screen of what Arsenal are looking for. A second choice goalkeeper, potentially another defender, obviously a midfielder or two, and a forward, somebody, a right wing backup for Saka, and a bonus would be a striker, a first team striker. But we'll have to see if that does get over the line. But yes, let's get on to the goalkeeping department. And the Athletic reported today that Arsenal are heavily interested in Joan Garcia from Espanyol, who have recently been promoted to the first division in La Liga. And Joan Garcia, I've already made a video on him. He's a very talented goalkeeper. He does have a release clause of 23 million euros, which is quite high for a player that we just want to come in and be a backup to David Raya. And I think we need to be getting a goalkeeper who is far cheaper than Aaron Ramsdale, who we are looking to sell. It would be such a shame if our new goalkeeper ended up costing more than Aaron Ramsdale, because Aaron Ramsdale is a fantastic keeper, but he does need that first team football. So Arsenal are looking for that second goalkeeper, and Joan Garcia seems to be the top of the list. And it'll be interesting to see whether we can push forward with this one in July. And in the goalkeeping department, recently announced yesterday from Fabrizio Romano that Arsenal are, have completed the signing of David Raya. We have officially sent the 27 million that we owed for Brentford. And that just goes to show that we couldn't spend anything in the last financial year if we're doing it on the first day of the new financial year. So David Raya is coming in and are going to be our new first choice goalkeeper. And yeah, I think he deserves it. 15 clean sheets is not easy to do in the Premier League. Golden Glove, and I think he does deserve it. So welcome to the club, David Raya. And of course, the academy goalkeeper signing, Nygaard. So there's a lot of movement right through the levels, academy to the first team in the goalkeeping department. I mustn't also forget that Hein has signed a new contract recently too. So it looks like Arteta has a lot of faith in him. Whether he will go out on loan or what will happen with him, we will have to wait and see. But let's now swiftly move on to the defender department. And this is actually really exciting, because in the last few days, Arsenal are, very interested in Calafiori, who is obviously a very talented defender who we've seen showcase his skills at the Euros. Us and Chelsea seem to be the most interested Premier League clubs for him. And I can see him coming in and being that left back stroke, left centre back sort of player for us. Maybe he'll displace Gabriel, which is going to be very tough, or he'll just be that first choice left back, and he has the ability to come into midfield. He's got the brilliant 1v1 defending, and I just feel like it'll be a brilliant signing. So watch out for Calafiori. Fabrizio Romano has said watch out for him too. So maybe we can see a defender being probably one of our first signings, because he seems the most heavily linked player at the minute. And it doesn't look like he's going to go to Juventus. The Bologna president has come out to say that they are unlikely to sell Calafiori to Juventus. So that leaves us and Chelsea currently in the lead for this young, talented Italian defender. So let's just see what happens in July. It's definitely one to watch. But what that will mean for somebody going out the door like Kivior, it looks like we're going to be trading off Calafiori for Kivior, because there will be no space for Kivior if we did sign him, which is a shame for Kivior. I think he showed a lot of promise last season, but you know, we've got to be ruthless. Little upgrades are always welcome when you're chasing the juggernaut down that is Manchester City. So let's just wait and see. I feel like that's the only two things really in the defender department which we need to keep an eye out for. Kivior out the door and Calafiori in the door. I feel like it will be a decent trade-off, of course, and it gives us so much variety. Imagine a back four of Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, White or Timber. That would be absolutely incredible. Then you've got Tomiyasu and of course Zinchenko if he ends up staying. So a lot of variety and different profiles back there, and I think we won't ever need to touch the defense for a good 4 or 5 seasons again, which is also brilliant, you know, when you're fighting seasons to come, to have that department already sorted. But let's now move on to the midfielders department, probably the most crucial area this window where we need to be looking at players. And there was actually something interesting that has come out, you know, a couple of reliable sources, this Twitter, what I like to call ITK, has basically said that there may be a German star coming to Arsenal, and all eyes went immediately to Joshua Kimmich, who Arsenal are slightly interested in as well. He has a lot of clubs chasing him, Bayern Munich and Manchester City. And I've been watching him closely at the Euros, and what a player he is. Can obviously play right back, but I feel as though he'll slot in and play in that left number 8 role. And I feel like he'll do that very well. And him and Rice in the same midfield would be absolutely ridiculous. Brilliant on the ball, got the mentality, right age. He's in his late 20s, but sometimes you need that experience, and Joshua Kimmich is a winner and has that, you know, ability we need to add to our midfield. So hopefully, maybe we may be seeing Joshua Kimmich come, but of course it will have to be after Germany are knocked out of the Euros, as they play Spain in the quarterfinals on Friday. So that is it in terms of the midfield department, apart from maybe, you know, Amadou Onana. Of course, we're a little bit interested in him. It'll be interesting to see what happens, especially since Belgium have been knocked out of the Euros. If things will accelerate in his, you know, accelerating the interest for him, but I highly doubt it. He doesn't seem to be quite high on our list. He seems to be quite low down, and it's probably an option if we can't get the players we want. And that's probably the same with Youssef Fofana of Monaco, who is a fantastically gifted footballer. And of course, in terms of departures, Emil Smith-Rowe has actually said he wants to stay and fight for his place, which is quite interesting. To be fair, we've put a 25 odd million, you know, price tag on him. Crystal Palace, Fulham, West Ham, and all those clubs in London are very interested in him, but he wants to fight for his place, and fair enough. Maybe next season, you know, we'll see the best of Smith-Rowe, and he'll be able to show why he deserves to be in our squad. And finally, Thomas Partey, again, seems like another player who is likely to stay, and that will probably stop us signing 2 midfielders and only signing 1 midfielder for that left number 8, because Thomas Partey doesn't look like he has many suitors with his high wages, and he's probably going to run down his contract and leave at the end of next season. So that's it in terms of the midfield department. And finally, let's move on to the forwards. Everyone loves a forward, and Arsenal are interested in Nico Williams. He's very, very, very high on their list. Teta admires him, but the only stumbling block is he wants £350,000 per week, and he's currently on 150 odd thousand per week, or 100,000 per week at Atletico Bilbao, who obviously don't pay transfer fees as they only go for Basque players. So it's going to be money which makes Nico Williams move. And you've got the likes of Chelsea and United willing to spend money on anything. So it'll be quite difficult to match them if it ever came to that. But I'm sure Nico Williams would love to come to Arsenal and fight for the Premier League. Maybe Barcelona will be the ones that will get him as well. He seems to love Spain, and it's very rare you get to bring these players from other countries to England to fight in the Premier League. due to the cultural shifts and whatnot. So with Nico Williams, he has been so impressive at the Euros. I really do hope we push forward for him. He seems the perfect sort of player, can be back up to Saka, can play on the left wing as well. Just gives us so much quality and variety. And of course, that release clause, which I haven't mentioned, is 50 million euros, which is quite cheap considering the quality of player he is. So I think we should definitely go in for Nico Williams, and it's definitely a deal we should watch through this July, and especially if Spain get knocked out of the Euros too. Now let's move on to another forward, the final forward we're going to talk about, which is, you know, Victor Osimhen. And Fabrizio Romano has come out to say that Napoli expect Osimhen to leave the club, and he does want to leave the club and find a new challenge. And look, Arsenal have had a long-standing interest in Victor Osimhen, so I wouldn't be surprised if we revisit that this summer. Obviously, reports have also come out that Arsenal don't expect to spend a lot of money this window on a singular player, so maybe it's something we need to look for next season, or a player we simply are just going to let ourselves miss out on. But one to watch for sure, as he definitely wants to leave Napoli and try a new challenge, a quality striker, and he's definitely a little bit of an upgrade on Kai Havertz. And finally, let's just move on to the departures expected in the forward positions. Reiss Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, of course. Reiss Nelson has come out to say he wants to leave, and of course Crystal Palace, Fulham and a lot of London clubs are very interested in him, and Arsenal looking for that £25 million fee for him as well, which is some homegrown profit, which is very much needed in this era of PSR. Of course, Eddie too is actually very rated by a lot of clubs, so I expect him to leave, and the price tag for him is 50 million. Be interesting to see if anyone does end up paying that. But yes, that's it for now, Gunners. Arsenal's plan for July is basically all there. Let me know what your thoughts are. And until next time, peace.